You know, Trish, I want to talk about another story, too, as it relates to the economy of this country and immigration, because, you know, someone like yourself who studied the data on this knows that the biggest factor determining on who comes to this country and who doesn't is the economic opportunity that is available here. And Delroy Murdoch wrote a piece that's available on the Daily Signal. This is the Heritage Foundation. And he writes about the recent influx of African and Caribbean immigrants to the United States. Quote, one wonders why these Africans and Caribbeans have to leave their majority black nations to penetrate Earth's supposed headquarters of anti-black bigotry. Now, if this is, if the racism is so structural in this country, why would people be coming here in these record numbers from Africa and the Caribbean?
Because it's not structural. Because I do believe, look, I mean, there's pockets of bad things anywhere, and racism in some parts, does still exist. However, as a whole, this is still the land of opportunity that everybody wants to come for, right? The American dream that still exists. I mean, they're trying pretty hard, it seems sometimes, to get rid of it with the onerous taxation policies they're trying to put into effect. But the reality is, if you work hard, you have an opportunity here. There are challenges, I would say, John, that, certain pockets of the community do face. But that is not race-based in my view. It's very socioeconomic. And it breaks my heart when I look back over the last year and I look at the communities that didn't get back to school, right, and didn't have the resources they needed to live. It's because the teachers' unions were too darn strong in some of these communities, and they were led by leftists. And unfortunately, a lot of these are minority communities. And so once again, they're getting the short end of the stick. Whereas, the suburban affluent community is like, no way to the teachers. And they're like, my kids are going to be back in school. And so we need to see a lot of these communities be less beholden to unions and to politicians so that the interests of the people really can take effect. That's where we have this breakdown. That's the socioeconomic breakdown that's not based on your skin color. I mean, I would say, in life, you're disadvantaged if you're born in the south side of Chicago, not because of the color of your skin, but because of the lack of political leadership that has led to really disastrous outcomes, including, a very dangerous environment to grow up in and a very poor environment to grow up in. Those are real problems. And I'd like to see a complete shift in the political way we approach those problems. Right.
There are a lot of folks that would like you believe this is a linear thing, the way racism works. It's not. To your point, though, it has a lot more to do with the opportunities surrounding you and maybe even your geographic location and the color of your skin. But, again, those facts, it's all verifiable information, but those facts don't seem to matter to a lot of folks. Trish, real quickly, let's end on this one. There does seem to be someone inside the administration that knows that something that happened under President Trump, some of that stuff actually worked because the Biden administration is starting to rebuild the border wall, at least a little portion of it. This is maybe a part of his Build Back Better campaign.
Can you believe that?
I believe it. Oh, I believe it. 100%.
I mean, I saw that story and I'm like, oh, wait a second. What do you know? Maybe it actually works. Listen, I thought that the border wall worked in many ways. One, from the pure infrastructure play that they would love to, get some money spent in the economy. But two, obviously, because of the symbol that it sends. I mean, part of the difficulty we have right now and the reason why we have 21,000 children now in U.S. custody is because they've sent effectively the wrong signal, right? It's come one, come all, and we're never going to separate parents from children. So you get this sort of access here, or we're never going to take a child and send them back to Mexico. And so parents are doing whatever they can in places like Mexico to give their children these opportunities. And they don't, we're not taking into account, if you would, unintended consequences, which any economist, by the way, would look at.
Always
what are the unintended consequences?
In physics, they have Newton's third law. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And I always say, the third law of politics is every political policy has some unintended consequence that politicians never saw coming. And we're seeing that, unfortunately, on the border. Trish, we got to run. We're out of time. Always great to talk to you. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Good to see you, John.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.